Yes, so there was about I think $4 million increase in professional services, and we found out that that's for the diversion program. And so we want to make sure that we're taking that money out, because they should be in charge of that. And the chief even said herself that they're not equipped to do social services, they're not equipped to do any of the work that is being under the Petition program. So we want $3 million taken out of there, and then to be completely out of the police, because they now even admitted they cannot handle these cases. Part of the reason a lot of officers left was because they had to deal with things outside of the government. So they were paid, but it's because they were doing things they were never hired to do, like being counselors, being child service.
So the council budget that stated passed tonight does invest in alternative forms of policing, the deflection, one, other programs as well that are outside the scope of Petition to prevent crime through those alternatives. Do you think they will work at reducing crime?
Oh no, absolutely not. Police don't reduce crime. There's like literally no place where police reduce crime. They haven't found alternative. It's still under LMPD, so it's still going to be led by the organization that failed in the past. Who conceived it? It was not meant to be under. It was meant to be under trained. So we're living in we saw so we think that because it's where we're at. I mean, they had living out training at the point where we were, we had all alternatives, but they will be able to I have students drive by police car and set up community and getting pulled over. So I don't if we take those we still have an over right now, so it's not like we don't need to look at it. So yeah, I need to go to anyway we solve it without investing in the services that support people having having an alternative to housing. Having an alternative to the way we can see that's how open really bad. So maximum and then after that, we're not fighting. There are ways to do that with the election program. The police themselves that they can handle it. There's also the American People Fund, and we have that we being like a dual program that every single week. So we're going to continue to do that because we can't necessarily trust the government as we see. We can't even trust them to follow their own rules. So we'll continue to be in the community. We're going to continue to bust out this work. You see all the people behind you, that's a fraction of the people who've been supporting this and going out with us every night. And I'm hoping that city council catches up with what regular citizens are doing, what single moms are doing, what all the folks in the community who are begging for change are doing. That answers your question?
Can you say and spell? Yeah, you did. Can you say and spell your name again?
Yeah, Shantrice Martin, SHAUNTRICE, MARTIN. So we're actually publishing it tonight after the meeting. We have an MSR that's $3 million budget already. And so we're going to push the American Rescue Fund budget on social media. We're doing a canvas tonight actually at 8 p.m. We do it almost every night at 8 p.m. in the West End. We'll also be going to Newburgh. Let me just reinforce it. I thought maybe he'd change tomorrow. It's like what they do in the club when they say ladies are free until midnight, and then they close the doors until like 11:59. Hello, President James.
Hey guys, how's it going? Sorry.
Oh, I think I was good. Okay. Were you trying to get through, or you?
No, I just came to talk to you.
I'm not in charge, but I can answer questions possibly. Does anybody else want to be in charge? Yeah, we were trying to drop petitions for each of our individuals. And we called so that we could just come into lobby without appointment with our needs. The gentleman, or I don't know, the gender, the folks here said that we weren't allowed to do that. We have to have an appointment with our council, or each of our individual places at the council.
Right, we're still operating as a single entity, so we're going to stop in until July 20th when we come back. But after that, we'll be open, but right now it's still closed.
Okay. Do you happen to know if the Divest budget is going to be discussed at the next time with individuals by council members?
No.
All right. Is there a reason
Sure.
that you can share with everybody?
There's not a citizen on the council to divest $50 million from the Metro Police budget.
And the deflection program
The deflection program should pass.
under the LMPD?
No, it'll be under actually the emergency services Metro State.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I appreciate it.
I have one question.
Sure.
You said that the building would be open in the future. In order so that in the future, when we want to bring a petition, could you please help us to know the simplest way to do that? And the correct, so that when we come,
Sure, when you
that door will be open.
well, the door is open when it's only closed right now because it's open. Yeah, so normally you just bring it, drop off, give it to work.
You don't have to have, like, I don't have to be like, back to that, and come and see what it is. Or,
Well, right now we're doing that because.
oh, no,
Yeah, so this is what we say, if you're gonna get counsel, your partner has to be. So we would do that. Otherwise, it's probably wasting time.
I understand, but I'm saying, like, if there's a meeting, and there's actually going to be a council meeting, and we want to be present, or is it open to us?
Yeah, because if anyone outside of COVID, whatever company,
But the average, citizen trying to figure out how to do this for the people. Profit.
yeah, it's a process. So, anytime that we're open to public meetings, the citizens are welcome.
Can I ask one more question? You said that the council doesn't have a council.
We're not allowed to come in without an appointment. Nancy, before coming here today, we were told we were coming to lobby and it would be compliant with the regulations. As we walk up the door was closed.
I wish the cancers had it. I wish they had it. I really wish they had it because it's not right.
If it's COVID restricted, why do you have to wear a mask?
Nothing to wearing masks. I'm vaccinated, got my vaccine. I mean, go out and let us in anyway.
Yeah, so the goal was to drop the petition today at our city council members' desk. Several council members, over the last day, so I'm not sure today. But I'm not sure our best bet is if you should have a copy of the PDF of the petition drop. If you don't, you can DM me at Linktree at blue.biz. That's all the citizens bringing more and here. I'm going to show you the numbers, but I'm not here. be face to face. I'm gonna be on the council meeting tonight, Divest, it was, social workers gonna be on tonight and several others. What we need in y'all, things like that, not gonna be responsible. We are having an AM tonight, just like we do on every night, when the West is expanding in Pittsburgh. It's a very franchise. Social workers, free, getting paid for the first time in 1992. So some of you are not born yet, which is why, and we're gonna keep pushing. I hope people realize that this administration under Fisher is gonna be the same administration as had under Kramer. Like, it is Johnson, their name, Brian, Craig. This is going to be the same sort of thing that we have. I appreciate y'all coming because y'all want to work to change it. The reform we had with police cameras, diversity training, is how we're gonna make it look. If we're going to there was long our children being bad, and the way we can change that is to change the people who are in here. So we as citizens, taxpayers, as taxpayers, citizens, not get words slammed in our face. Right? Maybe I shouldn't be dramatic. Can we be very accurate? I felt another person. Alright, I really want to turn this ignoring the problem is a tactic of politicians, but we have to be vigilant in our revolution. And then we have to it is what wants to change. So everything is going to be here. If you have your contact information, I'll give it to you. Like I keep sometimes figure out I get myself in practice. I want y'all to. If you showed up today, that's a lot. We have a lot. I know right? So we need to business other like-minded people to push the change. There are over 8,000 people in this city. Only a comments. It's all. That's not even our issue. And I don't know if that's over this issue. So we are much stronger than we realize. That's just the way that Alright, so I encourage like people like people doing this. If we can take this building, now, everyone makes a decision. Place like California, where they know these sort of things, poverty increase, employment increase, kids test scores improve. Like we can do this. We're tired of being known as a backwards town, as being, the state where we're at no health care, lack of education. Hopkinsville always had a black mayor. We had a couple of them. Love Hopkinsville, but also we can't do it from the rest of Hopkinsville. We ain't black. Yes. Also, I'm sure you I usually council meeting started in a little less than an hour. Everyone on the comments. I had someone only 8 days. You usually don't pay attention. We are making a change. They may not want to publish that. They may say whatever. We are making change. We're making impact. I promise you. Alright. And also, if I end up sometimes I'm not going to say it again today. Anyway, we're going to stay here.
Can't tell.
Yeah, so for real, anybody who wants to be here, you don't have to be loud, you can just show up and buy that. But if you want to do even more, I don't do that. But I'm sure I know somebody to tell you about that. Please, before you leave, you have already in there. Yes, I appreciate you coming. And
Good Wi-Fi.
Y'all can kind of stand there and like line up that way in order of your speaking. I think I'm first. You're not a distraction at all, but I think Nancy was coming up.
What just happened?
No, I mean, but also like I said, you can't do it unless you try to do it really hard. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay. Chanel is on her way. So she records.
Like I was good.
All right, if you are speaking, can you come right there and have a seat? I mean, I feel like you're not speaking. All right, we have someone here for Shantae that needed to know where to go.
Get stuff started.
All right, so is everybody speaking up here already? So they asked like if you have a mic, when you have a mic, you have a mic and they'll bring this person. If you get a clip on mic, I'm assuming, yeah. You're gonna say your name and then spell it. Oh, wait, who? I don't know if that's his name or their name. I don't know their name either. So I'm excited we have our petition here.
After they're talking trash.
And yeah, if you haven't already, you can go on our link at Divest, LOUDIVEST. And you can see our petition. Of course, the hand sign aren't on there because I don't know how to make that happen. Yeah, that was an early for call. Say your name first and last. Spell it when you get on the mic so they can hear it. And let me know when it's starting. Or stare at me quietly. I'm gonna wait till they get across the street. All right, so hey, I'm Shantrice, SHANTRIC, Martin, MARTIN. We are here representing Black Lives Matter Louisville, 490 Project, Take the Seat, and several individual community members, Louisville Community Development Fund, Black Market Kentucky. And we are here today because we need them to defund police. Historically, every year that they increase the police budget, both homicides increase and unsolved crimes increase. It's not the other way around. You can look and check yourself. We have been listening to over 40 hours of budget hearings, and what we hear is the libraries begging for money, public works begging for money. All these departments that could help us prevent crime in the first place are begging for money. Meanwhile, even though their solve rate is less than 30%, LMPD is getting awarded over $210 million across all budget lines. And so what we want is for them to endorse the Invest Divest budget to take $50 million away from LMPD and put it in social services, put it in places like the West End, put it in food justice, put it into public works that really needs money, put it into OSHA, the Office for Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods. We need this change. Historically, in Louisville, since even before Mike Luke was shot in the back by police, we see them getting rewarded for hurting Black people. We see them being incentivized for Black suffering, and that has to stop. I'm a single mom. I have a lot of things that my kids are doing instead of getting harassed by the police. I've told y'all the story many times. I'm gonna tell y'all again. I was assaulted, and I called the police. And guess what? They tried to convince me that I was mistaken, that I was wrong. That's the type of thing you get when you have the police and people say, "Oh, this certain officer, my uncle's a police officer." Well, your uncle's part of white supremacy. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's Black, white, whatever. Police in Louisville are not here to protect us. They are here to defend property. When we were at the height of the uprising, we saw police right there on that roof, just staring at us, getting paid to stare at us. They were high-fiving their kids on top of a roof with sniper rifles, right? I got pepper spray last year. I'm sorry, I got tear gas last year. And I saw across the street, right here on this corner, 2 little girls getting tear gas too. Those health impacts still exist now, a year later. So a little girl who's just possibly going through getting her first period is tear gas. That's typical warfare. No one got punished for that. Even though the mayor and the police department was like, "Oh, we're not using tear gas. We're not using rubber bullets." Tell that to the people who got hit with the rubber bullets. Some of you out here today got tear gas last year. I know y'all ain't got no checks because I ain't get no checks. Hey, I know y'all didn't even get no calls because I did.
Definitely not.
Greg Fisher is part of the problem, but he's not the only problem. The system is the problem. We're not just going to focus on one individual officer. We're not going to focus on one council member. We are focusing on the system. We have to dismantle the system. And I'm glad y'all out here today. We got a lot more work to do. But until we are able to make a substantial change, and not just the budget, but in their policies, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to be talking about this again next time. Unless we can stop them from what they're doing. They got weapons, like actual weapons. They got helicopters. How can we compete with that? How can we compete with a military force, essentially? We can't unless people in that building agree with us, agree with regular residents who got jobs and mortgages and rent, or don't have a house at all. Until they start being on our side, it's not going to change. So that's why we're here. We have to be diligent in our resistance. I'm grateful for y'all being here. We got more work to do. If you're trying to really make an impact, we canvass tonight at 8 p.m. Black Lives Matter Louisville be canvassing like every day.
Every day.
To help the community.
Every day.
We were giving rides to vaccinations back when they weren't even putting vaccination sites in the West End. They try to put up things that say vaccination works and pushing this narrative that Black people don't believe in vaccinations. But they didn't even have sites. I had a friend who lives out in the East End, and when he was trying to register to get his vaccination, when he was trying to sign up, he was told to go to the West End, take spots for people who are begging for vaccination. Black people live 10 years less in the West End than white folks out in the East End. Look at the 2017 Health Equity Report. So if we don't even live to 65, why is the starting age for vaccination 65? That's cutting out a whole group of people. That's why we need change. That's why the change needs to be led by us. Not by LMPD, not by the folks there, not by Greg Fisher, not by Greg Greenberg. I didn't mess it up. Greg Greenberg was said. All right, we have to have significant change because I want my son to have the option to live past 65. I want that. I got a lot of stuff to do. I ain't tried all the hairstyles out there yet. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna end it off with the main thing I want y'all to remember is look at that fat stack. That's us. That's our work. And we are not finished. We barely even started. So I encourage everybody who's out here, whether you live in the West End, East End, wherever, Southern Indiana, come together because they are not more powerful than us. There's more people standing here right now than our council members. There's 26 districts. There's way more of us. So yeah, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Oh no, this yeah, I think if you don't have to hold that.
You need to throw it in your pocket, or if you don't, yeah, you can hold it.
Hi, I'm Anita Moore, ANITAMOORE, and I come to you from 22nd and I'm my family has owned property for 50 plus years. And I just wanted to encourage the community to come out. A friend asked me to come talk about the importance of our gone to school. I was raised by a two-parent family. I don't come from a single mom. I come from a two-parent mom, but they both worked. So the school was a place for myself, my 4 older brothers to go and be safe, learn how to get along with others, and proud of our community. Not only was I born and raised there, I currently am raising my child in the same home, and I try to take her to the same activities that I was part of. So I ask you all to invest in our community. I'm a product of the West Team. I'm a product of the Outdoor School, and currently I'm an educator for Jefferson County, and I'm very proud of that. So all of you out there, I talk about defunding the police, and if you're against it, I want you to think about what we're asking you to do, to put more money towards services that prevent crime. Again, I have 4 brothers, and I'm thankful to God that they're all even still alive. So I just want you all to be encouraged and fund programs that keep our kids involved, that teach us how to exercise, be healthy, take care of ourselves, and most of all, how to get along with each other and get ahead in our community. Thank you for your time. I've never done anything like this, but I'm very proud.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you.
I got my notes out. We'll get fired up, and then we won't get anywhere. All right. My name's Caitlin Selman, Kaitlyn Selman. So I am a criminology professor. My PhD is in criminology. I'm coming from District 10. But more important, I am a very, very concerned member of the local community. I'm speaking today in the hopes that Metro Council and anyone else will listen, truly listen to what we are all saying. Police do not keep us safe, even when you try to dress up in uniforms. And investing more money in policing will only amplify that reality. LMPD's funding totals almost over $200 million a year, about 26% of the city budget alone. The budgets for public health and wellness, parks and rec, the Louisville Free Public Library, which I love, the Office of Safe and Healthy Neighborhoods, and the Office of Resilience and Community Services combined don't even make up half of that budget, coming in under just under. Now, this budget disparity might not feel like such an issue if policing as a whole is effective at decreasing harm and violence. But so many people's personal experience have heard, as well as criminological, sociological, and public health scientific research, shows time and time again that police presence doesn't actually reduce crime, harm, or violence, and in fact often aggravates it. Officials can yell that policing works until they're blue in the face, pun intended, but it won't make it true. As an institution, policing has been both historically and contemporarily tasked with upholding unequal social order. We've seen policing play a major role in literally killing Black, Brown, Indigenous, queer, poor, working class, and disabled people, and especially here. So divesting from police means divesting from that violence. And if Metro Council claims they want to promote safety, that means redirecting those funds. Now, to be sure, there are other violent conditions at play here that do have a relationship with crime, harm, and safety. And police can't, and perhaps should not address those things. Trauma, poverty, homelessness, systemic racism, health inequality, food insecurity, a struggling education system. Investing money in other institutions can alleviate those conditions and thus harm violence. A report compiled by the Center for Popular Democracy, Law, and Black Lives and Black Youth Project 100 shows that investment in mental health, housing, youth development, and living wages would, unsurprisingly, actually stabilize communities and prove more effective at ensuring safety than police. The point is that we need to redirect, I'd say, that whole $200 million away from the police and towards the type of critical resources that truly make communities safe. Healthcare, mental health services and treatment, educational opportunities, affordable housing, public schools, transit access, and investments in youth. We need to divest from policing, an institution that relies on surveillance, control, exclusion, and violence, no matter how many body cams its agents are armed or cultural sensitivity trainings they attend, so that we can invest in social supports for our community. That is how we achieve safety. And for those listening who are wondering about what we do to keep everyone safe when bad things do happen. Luckily, we don't have to look very long. People have been living this type of care for generations, people here. We've had community fire brigades, a people's ambulance, a transit support system, food banks and hot meal bars, community childcare, safety and defense teams. People have always been talking to each other, planning and dreaming together. We keep us safe. But to do so, we need money and resources and time and energy. All the things the police do not need more of. Because as we continue to invest in the police instead of our supportive community institutions, we perpetuate violence, and that needs to end.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Jillian Pearsall, JILLIANPEARSALL, and I'm a member of the local Showing Up Race Justice. LSERD, woo! LSERD, we stand with the 490 Project, BLM local, Black Markets Kentucky, take the seat in demanding that federal government divest policing and invest in the community. LSERD is a multiracial organization community of white supporter racism is one of the biggest reasons that is standing in the way of achieving racial economic justice. We also believe that living in a world without police is possible and it's on its way. Black, Indigenous, people of color-led movements and organizations have been dreaming of, planning for, and working towards a world without police for generations. They've crafted a vision that seeks to build real safety by claiming back our basic rights. Healthcare, housing, education, investing in Black, Indigenous, people of color, and for working class communities. And what a powerful vision Black organizers here in Louisville have. Imagine $50 million moved from LPD, put towards health, job programs, food justice, schools, fun things. Thank you, John Priest. Thank you, Black Lives Matter Louisville, and every group that is feeding and housing people in this city and creating restorative efforts and alternatives to police. That work is happening, that vision is here. Most white people, we have beliefs about policing and prisons that are shaped by our racist culture. Not reality, not history. Policing in the U.S. is inseparable from white supremacy and capitalism. We know that for decades, the greedy few and the right have been using race fear-mongering to divest public services and instead pump more money into police departments, implementing a kind of social control that's not restorative and that's not transformative justice. Punishment and control have become the state's automatic response to failure to meet cases. As LSERD, we refuse to accept the lie that our communities are safer with more police, with more funding. In fact, we know police protection is a myth. While it's clear that policing most negatively impacts communities of color, we know that many white people are suffering as well. White people are also struggling financially because of their gender or because of disability. This has become ever more apparent during COVID-19. We know that most white communities will actually be better off if we are in coalition demand. The Metro government investing in safety, health, good jobs, safe homes, and reducing anti-Black harm. Many of us white people were mobilized, some for the first time in response to the murder of Breonna Taylor. But we must be reminded to stay involved past the moment of uprising. We must continue organizing, learning, building relationships, taking action, and bringing more people into the fight for racism. So for those of us in the rally who are white, who will come with you next time? Who is going to contact the Metro Council and ask your friends to? Right? What communities are you already in that you can bring this conversation to? That could be a faith community, that could be your neighborhood, that could be a union. The cops don't belong in the labor movement. It's part of our work to bring more people with us the next time. For the next budget cycle, and the next budget cycle, and the next one, so we fully fund a Black vision or Black life here in so, thanks.
Oh.
Hi, my name is Greg Capillo, P-R-E-G, C-A-P-I-L-L-O. I'm a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation. I'm also a social worker who works with men who are chronically homeless. And I am here to say absolutely that LMPD is not here to protect or serve the most vulnerable populations of Louisville. I work in a homeless shelter. Every day, all of my coworkers and I see people out there breaking, stressed from COVID-19, stressed from the weather, it's either being too hot outside or too cold, and just the trauma every day of living unhoused pushes people into crisis. And we are trained to manage those crises. But sometimes it gets beyond our capacity, right? So we'll call for extra help. LMPD is either 20 minutes late or don't show up at all. Just even a few weeks ago, a gentleman was in the shelter after we closed, we had diminished staff capacity, and he had a full-blown suicidal, homicidal crisis where he was being locked out of housing, navigating impossible bureaucracy, and couldn't stand the living. And it took LMPD 20 minutes to show up after we made the initial call. But then 2 months before that, I leave work and look out, and there are a dozen police officers, 6 ATVs for 2 unhoused gentlemen smoking spice behind the shelter. So what's the critical difference there? The difference is that those gentlemen were in the view of the condo tenants and the condo owners directly behind our shelter. And so as a socialist, I know why that is. They're not here to protect and serve the most vulnerable. They're here to protect and serve the money, land, and interests of this town. Period. They're not here for the working class. They're not here for black folks. They're not here for anyone but the folks that own property and the property that they own. They don't care about a man crying and screaming, lashing out at everything around him, trying to navigate this bureaucracy, because it's inside and away from the view of those people. What's even more galling is that we know that housing is a less costly, more effective way to deal with these problems than policing is. The plan I just talked about would not have been in place if he had a house. Period. And what's even more galling than that is that the LAPD is particularly bad. Where else in government would we allow an agency to abuse citizens through that very awful sex scandal that just got resolved legally a few weeks ago, fail to do its job with the rising violent crime rate, the failure to clear murders, and then make this city a national example of the worst parts of the American experience through the murder of Breonna Taylor and the response to the protesters, many of whom were unhoused people. And then continue to get funding, and not only get funding, but get a raise. If my shelter engaged in a tenth of that behavior, our doors would be closed tomorrow. Done. Social workers deal with these issues every day. In Cuba, they don't bring police to deal with domestic violence. They bring social workers who then examine the structural issues that led to the violence at hand and then provide structural solutions. We don't have batons. We don't have beanbag rounds. We don't have bullets. What we have is compassion and open arms. So if we truly are a compassionate city, then let's send money to compassionate services. Away from brutality, away from abuse, away from inefficiency and corruption, and let's fund housing, let's fund education, let's fund mental health services. And if we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! We talked about structural change, so we're going to have structural change, but that takes a revolution. So what that means is joining organizations like the Louisville Community Bail Fund and moving away from a carceral system and making those solutions present in real life right now. And organizing with other working class members in revolutionary organizations. So hit up bit.ly, Louisville Community Bail Fund, psoweb.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Julie's? I'm not even gonna have time for all that introduction and stuff and all of this showcase and things because this isn't about the showcase. This isn't about y'all. This isn't about whether we need to make sure things are looking correctly. This isn't whether or not that fucking door was open or unlocked or whatever. The descendants of the people who have built these fucking buildings are tired. They are exhausted. I'm tired. People have been coming for us for effectiveness. I'm gonna be real. It takes a lot of work day in and day out to make sure that you address not just the people that we're in community with, not just our district members because they live around the corner from us, but the people who live on the other side of the city trying to absorb other Black communities. The people who are in the pockets of Greg Fisher, Greenberg, and the Browns, and everybody else who makes way more money than those Black kids that fucked up that park.
Yeah.
And why did they do that? What else do they have? What else is out there for them? It shouldn't be this many people here continually, year after year. We didn't start last year. We didn't start 6th and Jefferson. Year after year, demanding that public safety does not rest at 7th and Jefferson, at the headquarters, at the desk of the police chief. It is very clear where that power lands at because we exactly know who is moving what. It's not Spooky who delivers sandwiches to homeless people at 17th and Hill. It isn't Amira who is trying to organize young people to understand that this is where change happens at. It is not the years and the months that we have spent organizing networks of mental health care workers, social workers to get their LCSW, to open up their own mental health capacity, to make sure that these children have these things. It is not Black mothers like myself helping other Black mothers who are getting beat by someone who claims that they love them during the middle of a pandemic or not. It didn't start in March 2020. It didn't start with Brianna. It didn't start with Shelby. And it didn't start with Demond J as well. It didn't start with a police killing. It started with a contract between the city and an entity. And that is all that the police are. They're not even the problem. The problem is there are more people willing to be scared and complacent than to lift up your democracy and move it. To move it. I'm tired of yelling about amplifying every day. I'm tired about checking in every day. I'm tired of having to know that an organizer is not here with us right now because he's tired of that. I'm tired of that. I'm tired of hearing the rumors. I'm tired of hearing having to defend something. I'm tired. I'm tired of wearing the shirt. I'm tired of having to organize this and to organize that because these people know. And then every day you got to hear what the update is. They're playing with your money. Keisha Dorsey is the council person of District 3. She is asking for resources for a pool that every year from the previous council person, from that council person, since that damn park has been built for upgrades for those buildings. That is important. It's important for South Dixie Highway. It's important for Anchorage. It's important for the Highlands. And it's always important for us as well. And what happened this week is atrocious. We're not even talking about it. They don't even have the time to update it. People got upset because she's asking for money for the updates for the children in that neighborhood. I used to be one of those children. I was able to walk to that park and go swim when I wanted to. And that park still looks the same. That pool still looks the same. Lights, basketball courts, that is great. Not everybody plays basketball. Not everybody's going to be there at night. We are building community day in and day out with our folks, with our family members. People are tired. Every day we are out. We are meeting new folks. We are asking people to organize. People are invigorated. Bring that where they are. And if you can't do that, then get the hell up out of the seat. We no longer need to be looking for people who want to just like jump and jive for cameras. And I mean that. People are putting on a show for you. This is not about a show. This is not about likes. It's not about social media. I don't care about impressions. What I care about is mothers know that they can be housed the next day. What I care about is there are amendments to laws that make sure that people get away with calling the police on people because you just need somebody to call the police on. That is not how we solve shit. We lost the bail to somebody because somebody wanted to keep playing, calling the police on them. That's dumb. Simplest terms, it is dumb. That is somebody's life. Prison systems are not somewhere to show punishment. There is no punishment there. And I'm not for sure our folks understand that. There is no punishment down there at Civil Liberty. That's not punishment. That is enslavement. During the middle of the coronavirus, we didn't even let those people out, and people, whether you had a bond or a warrant or a bench warrant, you went to jail and caught the corona. You went to jail and caught COVID. Some of those folks are not okay. And you're like, well, they shouldn't have did this, they shouldn't have did that, and then we always hear about like these high-ass crimes. What does that have to do with putting people in jail before they're even tried or found guilty of anything? That's not what we stand up here for. That's not what this is about. Working with police, working with the government, we are not those people. So quit asking us to be. That's not what this is for. This is not at your convenience. This is at the foundation of freedom work. I'm angry because all day I have to deal with somebody else's crisis. Without getting my children to school. While making sure that they're okay. While making sure that other people ain't losing in this living, right? And I'm tired. I'm tired of having to say what the narrative is to stay on point with the narrative. So I get it if you don't want to keep it together. I get it, right? We shouldn't have to keep coming here and letting people know that public safety is not the police. And that's what we're asking for. Nonprofits should not have to beg for resources that are needed for service items. We should not even need nonprofits for service items. Whether you need toilet paper, pads, food, housing, that you should not need for those things. Yet that's what we're talking about. Those are just the minute things that we're talking about. Because at the end of the day, some of these people that are out here, and you're so worried about crime, are committing those crimes because they have nothing, almost nothing. Because they have no safe houses to go to. Because they may not have the wherewithal and the bandwidth to know that they don't have to do those things. You're no better than them because you also are doing something else in the bandwidth that you don't have either. So my main thing is, this is not the only time that we have to fight for these things. We live in a commonwealth. And a commonwealth means that we decide what it is that we want. People are talking about socialism. Well, that's what commonwealth means. We decide what that is. If you continue to keep looking at your representative for whatever it is you need to make, you will continue to be here next year, begging that they defund the police, right? If you want to build that law, if you want to build that legislation, if you want to amend something, then we get together, we write it up, and then we send it off. And then we make it. That was the amendment that we put together. We decided that 50 million was enough that can get started for a lot of the things we had already built, which 6 million are not. And most of the time it wasn't with that. We took half of that and bailed people out. So they can run stories about how many people lost their bail, but more people gained life because we did that. We bought community property so that people can have space to do what they need to do to organize or just to be safe.
Come on now.
So when we say free the land, we mean that. By any means necessary. What we're asking for today is that we're hoping that our city council members find it some type of strength somewhere, because we can spend hard for them, send them all the energy, y'all, but that they decide to do the right things for the people who need it most, who built this city, for the people who continue to work day in and day out to make sure that this city is running. Those are the people that we're talking about. The city workers are also very numerous and also not okay. This is not about Greg Fisher. This is not Greg Fisher's city. This is our city. He doesn't run this shit. We run this shit. Who runs this shit? 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 We run this shit.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, now I get to plug, right? We'll be doing a budget watch all day. We'll be amplifying those things. We'll also pivot to this ARP and to understand like why the mayor thought it was okay that we wanted to hear his budget. It's clear, you know, it's from his wallet and his wallet of family members or whatever they are. What do they call it? Votes. Anyway, look for that on Twitter, Jefferson County KFTC and BLM Louisville, and then the rest of the BLM Louisville Community Bail Fund pages and stuff. We'll try to like get that going on IG, but there'll be critical conversations. We're going to try to get some of our council members to join us too once they end. We'll either have to like keep it going or stop it. We know that people are live tweeting and things, but it's really critical right now. And I think what we're looking at is watching this budget surpass for public safety, and majority of it going to the police at $200 million is now at a crisis. So we desperately want to declare that American Rescue Plan needs to go to services that COVID couldn't even penetrate as well, actually destroyed. So those are the rescues that we're looking for: total wellness for Black Louisvillians, total wellness, and you know, for people who are impoverished and still working, the extreme working poor, and the people that have just been feet to the ground. I don't want to say boots to the ground means a very military stance, who have been out here day in and day out to make sure that folks know that justice has not been served for any of us, let alone one of the most notorious cover-ups by LMPD since its existence. And I think that's the main message that we're meaning. If you mess up at work, you don't get rewards. And what we keep seeing is an entity that we have been calling not only accountability, but the removal of continue to get rewards for that. That's the basic narrative at the end of the day. So thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I think you just gonna keep I said those 45-minute intervals.
No, it's okay. I wanted so badly for the stream to like, you know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.